Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Concession Stand. I guess this is still technically part of our Spooktacular. We're not. It's
That
not
is
spooky
correct.
season anymore, but we're still doing it.
Yeah. This is mainly because I got stupid busy with work out of nowhere near the end of spooky season.
It's all right. It happens. So today we're
Yeah.
doing what people probably would not consider. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't know of very many people that
Again,
think of this when you say horror movie, but we kind of talked about that last time.
exactly.
How Hollywood is biased
E-
against the horror genre. Um,
Exactly.
the Spielberg classic Jaws. Everybody's
Donna.
like, I don't know of anyone that doesn't like this movie. They may not be like super fans or anything, but I don't know of anyone that's like, ew, Jaws? Fuck Jaws.
No, Jaws is, I would say, oh, it's pretty much close as what we got to like an American icon. It's funny to think of Jaws as like something so American. So many people watch Jaws. Motherfuckers were actually afraid to go into the water.
Yeah, like it was an actual thing. Like nature
Mm-hmm.
documentary people probably fucking hate Jaws because now everyone's
They
scared of
won.
sharks.
100%. And then if it wasn't for Jaws, we probably also wouldn't have Shark Week. Like if you actually trace back all the things around sharks, I'm almost positive it will trace back to Jaws, the release of Jaws.
It has to. It's one of the highest grossing movies of all time if you adjust for inflation.
Yeah. And it's what is considered the movie that started the popcorn film, even though I think the year previous Billy Jack did something used the technique that Jaws did, but it was an indie shitty movie, so people were like, who cares about Billy Jack? Jaws, now that's a
Jaws is
movie.
where it's at. I do genuinely love this movie though. It's so good.
It is fantastic. It is a tour de force. So why don't you tell us about it, and then we'll get into actually praising it.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't think we need a huge plot summary for Jaws because one, I feel like everybody's probably seen it, and two, if you haven't seen it, it's a fucking movie about a shark trying to eat people. So
Mm-hmm.
they're in like it's called Amity Island. I don't know geographically in the United States where that's supposed to be. Um,
Somewhere near the water, I
near the
assume.
sea, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe Amity Island is a real place. I hope not, at least.
No.
I would never go there if
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was.
I'd be in for
Yeah, that place's tourism
it.
probably got destroyed by this movie. Um,
It 100% did, and also it made it seem like the mayor of Amnivy. How am I not saying this name right? What is wrong with my voice recently? I've been unable to say any words. Am shit.
Amity,
Say it again. I'm sorry. This is not
Amity,
a bit. I Amity.
Amity,
Amity.
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 There it
Okay,
is.
Amity. Because the mayor in
There it is.
Amity in there it is, Amity. The mayor in Jaws makes it seem like all he cares about is tourism, so that must really hurt to be one, the mayor of Amity, and also be living there.
Yeah, he's a big piece of shit that gets a lot of people killed because all he wants is money.
Mm-hmm.
Um, anyway, so I think the movie, God, it it opens up with them skinny. That's the skinny dipping kill, right? That's literally the opening of the
Yep,
movie.
it knows how to start a movie,
Yeah.
which is
So
skinny dipping and killing.
yeah, there's skinny dipping, and then they get attacked by a shark, and that just kind of sets up the plot of the movie, which is literally just holy shit, there's a shark.
Mm-hmm.
A police officer comes in and he's like, "Is there murders?" And they're like, "No, it's a shark." But he's like the disgruntled chief of police, and he says, "We gotta close the beaches. They're getting killed by sharks." And the shitty mayor is like, "Ha ha! No, I want the money, so we're just gonna let it happen." So they fake that she got killed. She got hit by a boat. That's what they said happened, not what happened. Um, and then the shark
This
gets another
boat took a
person.
giant chunk out of
Yeah,
her.
it took a
It's
giant bite out
crazy.
of her. It's crazy. If I
These
remember
damn
correctly, they
boats.
said it's some propeller something um,
Yeah, that.
that it chunked her up, which is totally bullshit. Um,
Yeah, 100%.
so then another person gets attacked by the shark, and all the shark scenes are kind of scary to me. I can't swim. Fun fact to people who don't know that. Um,
Oh, really?
I
You're like my mom. You both can't swim.
yeah, I cannot swim. So any like underwater shit freaks me out like big time. Like I could like Monster Hunter 3, Lagiacrus was always my favorite monster because I was having like mild panic attacks while fighting it because it was all underwater. And so like I have a visceral reaction to seeing the Lagiacrus and I'm like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. So Jaws is kind of the same way for me. Um,
Is that also why you like Sonic so much?
Maybe. It wasn't, but maybe.
Because of Sonic's horrifying death in the water, you're
Sonic's
like finally
violent
gonna.
water death. Yeah, I feel a part of him.
I can't relate to Mario, who's like, this shit's easy. I'm an Italian plumber, I can swim easy. But Sonic, who's like, I need air. Give
Yeah,
me air or
that's
I
true. Yeah,
die.
our crippling need for oxygen really keeps Sonic and I united. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so like all the water attacks, obviously they're not like super incredible looking today because it kind of just looks like people fucking flailing around in the water because this is an old
Yeah.
movie. But like even for me, that's still kind of scary. But like back in the day, that shit was probably terrifying. Like when I was little, it scared the shit out of me, and obviously it scared a lot of people because of how popular this movie was.
Mm-hmm.
They're all done really
And,
well, in my
and
opinion.
yeah, this is another case of just like it's easier to make practical effects seem scary because it's like, well, that a person's really doing that, and especially as you're a kid, you're going like, oh my god, that's how a person would actually act if they were attacked by a
Yeah,
shark.
oh
You
my god,
knowing,
that person is actually simulating getting fucking killed in the water
yeah.
instead of
Whereas
it being
opposed,
a fucking computer, the video game.
yeah, where all of a sudden, like if it was modern day, the shark would jump 50 feet into the air and then eat him whole in one gulp or something. That's actually just the Asylum movies. That's all the Asylum shark movies. The sharks jumping into the air.
So okay, so there's another attack, and the
Mm-hmm.
guy's like, God damn it, we have to close the beach. I'm the chief of police, and the mayor's like, fuck you. So they put a bounty on the shark because for some reason that's not saying that the shark exists. I don't remember the logic behind keeping the beaches open, but also putting a bounty on the shark. Um,
Now, I like to think of it as that this actually takes place in the One Piece universe, and they're putting a bounty on it to show how much wanted, dead
how
or
much
alive.
how much killing it's done.
Exactly. This thing is like 2 steps away from being king of the pirates. We gotta put this shit down right now.
So there's they everyone's kind of in a frenzy and everyone's gonna go out and hunt sharks, and then the Quint, the crazy local shark killer, says that he'll kill
Yeah.
it for $10,000. And shit, what is the name of the cameraman, the oceanographer? Hooper.
Hooper. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks at the dead girl and is like, that's obviously not a boat. The shark very clearly killed this woman because she has giant bite marks taken out of her body. Uh, there's a cover up going on. So they catch
Yeah.
a shark, just like people off screen catch a shark that is not the right shark. And so
No.
the mayor's like, okay, fuck it, everybody get back in the water. Um,
They're racial profiling this shark in Jaws.
yeah,
They're like,
pretty
that's
much.
any
Yeah,
shark is good enough.
they get any shark and they're like, all right, that's the one clearly, because it is a shark that exists. And Hooper is like, I really don't think that's the same shark that killed that girl because it doesn't have a big enough mouth to have done all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then they cut it open, I think, and they don't find any human meat in it. And the mayor's like,
Mm-hmm.
fuck, whatever, I don't give a shit. So Hooper and the police chief is Brody. They find like it's like a I guess it's like a sunken boat basically. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and they find a great white tooth, and they're like, ah, shit. And this is the scene of why the great white shark is now like the most famous shark in the whole world. Probably is this part.
Yeah. Is this?
Yeah,
This is the whole reason why so many people are afraid of great white sharks,
yeah.
even though I think in nature they're not that bad from what I understand.
They're not any. I think they're not like the most aggressive sharks. I think it's like bull sharks and tiger sharks are more aggressive than they are.
And dolphins, the
Well,
top three.
okay, yeah, probably. We're
Yeah.
not gonna get into dolphin molestation on the on the Jaws episode,
No, we
although
we
that
we
would
both
be
we
pretty
both know.
scary. So if there would be a time to do it, it would be the Spooktacular.
I'm gonna make a follow up called Bottlenose, and it's gonna be about a bottlenose dolphin just completely running amok.
Just an awful bottlenose dolphin.
Yeah, we need this bounty. We're putting a bounty on this dolphin, dead or alive. I want it in.
Dead or alive, I want this dolphin out of my water. So yeah, they find a sunken boat, and they find a great white shark tooth and a dead guy, and they're like, God damn, this shark is like fucking Jason, but in the sea. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so they come to the conclusion that a huge great white is killing everybody, and the mayor wouldn't close the beaches, and that's like that they're super fucked up. And so it's July 4th because of course it is. So the beaches are
Mm-hmm.
fucking packed with people, and then someone does like a prank, like, oh, there's a shark in the water, ha ha, got you idiots, ha. But then actually the shark is in the water because of course it is. Right when he does that shit. And I don't actually remember if he attacks somebody on the beach there. I think he kills a guy in a boat
I
right then. He kills like
yeah, a guy.
a guy who's out boating. He capsizes the boat and kills the guy.
Yeah, and then I think Brody's like son goes into like he goes into a shock.
It's his friend, I think, that the shark kills, and so he's like not
Um,
able to come to terms with the death. I'm pretty sure, is what happens.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Um, and so Brody, who is the police chief, gets with Hooper and Quint, the crazy shark man from earlier, and they decide they're gonna
Mhm.
go and they're just gonna fucking get the goddamn shark. So they go out to find the shark, and Quint is trying to hook him because they're gonna. I think his plan is just to catch it with like a giant fishing, whatever. Because
Mhm.
he's like drilled down into the seat of the boat. It's kind of cool to be honest, but
Yeah,
um,
this guy's a professional for a reason.
yeah. So they fuck, what happens? It attacks the boat, right? Because they're putting chum in the water, and so it shows up and like attacks the boat a little bit, and they harpoon it, but then it gets away because it's too strong. Because it's supposed to have like one of those barrels on it that stays at the surface of the water, so you could follow it. But he's so
Hmm.
strong he could pull it down with him. Um, and so they're kind of bonding a little bit. And then Quint says that he was like a Marine or like a Navy man who was on a boat that I don't remember what happened to his boat. I'm not gonna
The
lie to you.
USS Indianapolis.
Yes, I know that I don't remember exactly what
Yeah,
happened
so
to him.
this is what the USS Indianapolis is an actual real story, which funny enough was turned into a bad movie with Nicolas Cage. But the idea is that there was a whole bunch of people on the USS Indianapolis. It something caused it to like topside, and then it was just a bunch of sailors in the water as sharks literally
Oh,
surrounded them.
just a shit zillion sharks. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And and then this is actually a real funny scene for what I remember because they're like having a real good time, and then all of a sudden he goes into this long soliloquy out of
So
nowhere.
is that why he's a shark hunter? Is he just getting revenge on the species for what happened?
I feel like that is the implication here, that he's just like,
Yeah, they don't
oh, sharks are
clarify, but
bad.
I feel like he's just like fuck sharks then. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So they fixed the boat because the boat got fucked up when the shark attacked it the first time. Um,
Mhm.
and then Brody wants to call in the Coast Guard, but Quint is fucking insane, and so he smashes up the radio and he's like, "No, I'm gonna kill it myself. We're gonna get the damn shark." He's like Captain Ahab style about this Jaws
Yeah.
shark. Um, so they harpoon the shark again, and they tie it to the boat. But the shark is so strong that he's actually pulling the boat backwards, so it's like flooding because it's tilting into the water. Um, and then Clint tries to stop it and keep the barrels attached, and it doesn't work. So he's trying to pull the boat, trying to pull the shark toward the beach, and he's pushing the engine too hard, and the engine can't handle it, and the engine like blows up and crashes, and the boat stalls. So now they're hooked to this fucking shark, and they're sinking, and the shark is gonna fuck their day up. So Hooper gets in a shark cage, which obviously is not gonna work. Um, he's got like a,
He's
it's
gonna
like
like
a,
inject the shark with some kind of
he's
like
got a
a
little
thing that
harpoon.
kill
It's
him,
like
right?
I don't know if it's like a tranquilizer thing or like a lethal injection. It's something that's bad for the shark. And he's
Mm-hmm.
got a spear, but
Just
he
trying to
gets
put this thing to
scared
death right
and he drops the spear and it falls out of the cage. So Hooper runs away. The shark attacks the boat and it fucking murders the shit out of Quint. And then Brody
now.
puts the scuba tank into the shark's mouth, and that's when you get the smile, you son of a bitch. And he shoots the scuba tank and it explodes.
And then boom.
And the whole fucking shark explodes and dies. So then Hooper and Brody paddle back to Amity Island on the remaining floater barrels as Hooper's ship sinks in the background, having bested the shark.
Or so they think.
Dun,
Jaws
dun,
2 opens up. It turns out
dun.
Jaws had a wife.
Yeah, isn't that the one where Jaws actually had a wife and they're just really protective of their babies? And was that the one where they tried to like actually sharks aren't that bad? Was that 2 or 3?
Uh I think it's two. Three is the one where they reveal that Jaws has a psychic link to the family of Brody and is on purpose trying to kill them.
Jesus fucking Christ. So it's full
Yeah,
on sci-fi TV bullshit at that point, like the TV
yeah,
channel, I mean.
yes. And Jaws 3 also has that amazing shot that it was in 3D where is that shitty puppet of the Jaws slowly coming to the screen. If you've never seen Jaws 3D, you should just look at that effect because it is the funniest thing in the
I have
world.
not seen Jaws 3D. That sounds amazing.
Okay, you give your thoughts, and I'm gonna show you this scene because it's amazing. But go ahead, say some thoughts, Jaws. Why I look up this scene
Oh,
from
all right.
Jaws
Yeah, so
3?
Jaws is just like the movie is iconic. It's really simple. Uh but I wouldn't say that's a detriment. A lot of people, it's not Inception. It's a fucking shark killing people and they go to kill the shark, right? Like that's
Mm-hmm.
pretty much the crux of the movie. Um, but it's a Spielberg movie, so everything about it is like, oh god. So all of the shots in the movie, I think, are good. I'm not like a cinematographer, so I can't go out and tell you all the specific reasons. But you always get a shot in a lot of modern horror movies that's like, they're walking down a hall and there's stuff like nothing feels manufactured in Jaws. Like so, all the tension is just they're near fucking water because the shark is like a mass murderer from nowhere. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
like, and obviously, again, I can't swim, so that shit being near water alone is scary for me. So you throw a shark into the mix, and it's just no, thank you, it's game over.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and I personally, this is a weird thing for me because like I'm not the biggest horror buff in the whole world, not because I don't like the genre, but just because like I just don't watch it that
It,
much.
it's a
Um,
lot.
yeah, and so like stuff like we just did the Evil Dead last week, and it's demons from another realm or whatever, or like usually
Mm-hmm.
it's if it's not that it's serial killers or like evil humans. So I personally really like that it's just a fucking animal, like just killing the shit out of people in a not
It's Mother
comical
Nature in
fashion,
essence.
because I feel like this spawned a whole genre of like comical giant animal movies like Anaconda and shit.
Yeah,
Um,
Piranha as well. If
yeah,
you want to talk about tiny murder machines, James Cameron, of course, getting his start in Piranha too. Even though he says he was never credited as the director, he did direct half that movie.
really.
Yeah, if you he'd actually does he'll always say that that's not my first movie, but his first movie was Piranha 2.
So he doesn't want to cop to having worked on Piranha 2, basically, is what you're saying.
No, it's one of those things where he was kicked off because I think he was bad to work with, and then once he got big, they changed him to he was the director.
Ha! That's funny as hell.
Yeah,
He does seem
I'm
like he
thinking
would be
that's how it
difficult to
goes, but
work with,
yeah,
though, so that makes sense. Um,
100%.
yeah. So I mean, it's old school
Yeah,
Spielberg
this
too. So we're talking like the Golden Age, Indiana Jones, that kind of stuff. Ah,
Yeah, his peak. This is back when he was like looking at what he enjoyed in his movies and was like, no, like there's something missing in whatever current cinema for what people enjoy. And I kind of similar to how Indiana Jones was based off of like serials, those like the openings of movies where like it was like a 5 minute short or like I'm trying to remember their exact name of them, but there used
they
to be
were
stuff like
serials, yeah.
yeah, serials like Flash Gordon and stuff like
Hmm.
that. And that's what that was based off of. And I feel like this was based off of some form of horror. And it's very clear that like Jaws is like the essence of horror is like in it from scene one, where it has literally two naked people and then a kill, which is basically what all horror movies eventually just started having,
Yep,
which
nude
was
people and death right away.
exactly.
And another thing that I like about Jaws is that Jaws was one of those like movies where it's largely preventable. Like this shit did not need to happen after the
No,
girl
no.
died, and it was all just people fucking it up that made it as bad as it was. That's something that I generally enjoy in any kind of media where it's like snowball effect type things, because basically all these killings were the mayor's fault. I don't remember what
Yes.
comeuppance
And
he gets, if any. Um,
I want to say he gets none. Like a classic politician of the time, he did
yeah,
not
I'm
suffer
pretty
any
sure nothing
consequence.
bad happens to him from this. Um,
If this movie was 10 years later, he would have been catapulted or eaten by Jaws.
oh yeah, he absolutely would have gotten killed by Jaws himself in a modern
Yeah.
movie. But yeah, nothing happens to him really in
How do
this
you
one.
think? Do you think he gets reelected? Do you think after the events of Jaws
The
that he's
shark
like,
attack mayor? I mean,
yeah?
probably.
Well, he can always spin it as I eventually saved us from the shark. Like that was all me.
Okay, all I'm saying is
Um,
that in Alabama, literally one of their senators had to be a child molester to not get reelected, and he still almost did. So
all right,
like,
fair enough.
probably like I don't think the shark attack is that big of a deal to a lot of people.
All right, fair enough. All
Yeah.
I cared about is that their beach is closed. By the way, I did not find a video, but I found a GIF of what I was talking about. You can see it in the group chat. That is the iconic scene from Jaws 3 as this shark slowly.
Oh, I like how it's not moving at all. The screen break.
The screen break is the best part, especially with like his mouth like going,
It just slightly opens his mouth and the screen breaks. Oh man, that's
It's
so
great.
good.
That is fantastic.
That probably blew a bunch of
But yeah,
boomers' minds.
exactly. Yeah, I like a lot of things about Jaws. I love how many things just reference Jaws. Like I was watching It's Always Sunny, and they were doing an exact reference to Quinn's monologue about the USS Indianapolis. Like
Well, yeah, like you said,
it's
it's a fucking cultural icon. Like Jaws is a piece of cinema history that's you're never gonna top that. You know,
Mhm.
even if you do top
Yeah,
it, no one will ever say you did because it's a piece of cinema history. It's just how it works.
exactly. And apparently it was also extremely hard to make because like so for all the scenes you see with the shark, that's an actual mechanical shark that they put in the actual ass ocean.
So
So
it
this
just
movie
fucked up
was
a bunch.
extremely difficult to work with. I think they changed the name of the I think the name of the shark was named Bruce, and it was named after I think Steven Spielberg's lawyer because it was hard to work with or something.
That's funny.
Yeah, but everything about this movie of them going like, no, we need a mechanical thing, and then we're also dropping it into the ocean, and then them going like, hey, if this thing stops, how the fuck are we getting it back? It just literally falls into the
It
ocean.
just sinks into the ocean.
Yeah. So it's extremely hard to make. It's obvious that like everything about like it's so well built that it's hard to find anything really negative to say about it. Even I think people who make fun of it are doing it out of the place of like just because it's of an era. It obviously shows its age, but only
Oh,
because but
sure,
it's
yeah.
still extremely enjoyable.
Yeah, it's like Star Wars. Like you those movies you can physically see how old they are. Like but
Yes.
there's something special in there and they're great.
Yes. And Jaws definitely has that feeling. And it also is the reason why so many people are afraid of sharks.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much I can't think of anything else that would have spearheaded the absolute cultural fear of sharks that happens nowadays. Like it's bad.
Yeah. It also is a fantastic ride, or it's a fantastic part of the tram tour of Universal. The ride Jaws the ride is no longer operational, but
Ah, shame.
it's still there in the tram ride. I still see it every once in a while when I go on the tram ride and I see the shark. It's fantastic.
Oh, so
Not
it's
the
still
tram.
there, but you just can't go on it anymore?
Yes, I believe that is the thing. Is that the original Jaws ride is no longer, but there's like a part where you see a shark in the tram ride, from what I remember.
Damn.
Yeah, it's been a while, but I'm gonna assume it's still there. It's actually been a couple years, but it's got to be some form of Jaws is still at Universal.
Yeah,
Otherwise, my
it would be
childhood.
weird to take Jaws out.
Yes, exactly. And man, this is another movie where it also just like any other good horror movie, it also has very unfortunate sequels. None of them are as good
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
yeah. The best thing is of course Jaws 3, and it's really the stories around Jaws 3, like the fact that Michael Caine did not get his Oscar because he was too busy filming Jaws 3. So he
Good
missed
call on
the
that
ability
one.
to go. Yeah, he said. I think his word to say is like, "I've never seen the movie. That I've never seen the movie, but I have lived in the house that movie bought me." So
Fair enough.
fair enough.
Can't hate on
That's
that.
Jaws.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we gotta. Usually at this point we would say what's gonna come up next. Also, if you have not seen Jaws, check out Jaws.
Yeah,
Obviously.
I know this episode feels a little light, but the more we kept going, the more I realized like there's just not that you can't like there's not much to dissect about Jaws, but part of me like that's part of why I love it as much as I do. Is that literally it's
Exactly.
just such a great I hate to say masterclass because that's such a snooty ass douche way to pronounce to say it.
Well, as someone who technically took film class and works in film industry, I'll say it for you. It is a masterclass work of just like what is the best way of saying it? It's pop art. It's the best. It's actually pop art, but good. As for all the times, this is also weird because I don't want to get into. I don't want to turn this into a rant against the fucking soup can guy because I fucking hate his guts. I can't remember his name right now. Andy Warhol. There he is. I fucking hate him. But the idea that like pop culture in itself is art. And I feel like this movie is the best case of it because it is 100% a popcorn film, but it is also art in the way it is built. If
Oh
that
yeah,
makes
it's
sense.
100% like if a movie like this were to come out today, a bunch of YouTube channels would make videos about how actually it's schlocky badness and it sucks.
I mean, you can probably find 100 things wrong with the movie
Yeah,
Jaws.
everything wrong with Jaws. Look how ugly this shark looks. Oh, you're swimming? That's dumb. Like all that kind of
Cinema.
stuff.
They just ate. They would have to wait 30 minutes. That's the number 3 mistake with Jaws.
I could absolutely see that. But like
Unfortunately, it probably
it's
exists.
just Spielberg at his best, man. There's nothing I can tell you about fucking Steven Spielberg. You know, like you just need to watch it.
Yes, exactly.
Jaws, Indy,
And
E.T., all these kind of movies, man. You need to watch them.
technically, Roger Rabbit. He helped. He did not direct it, but he helped a lot in the making of Roger Rabbit.
Really, that's pretty cool.
Bas-
Did not know that.
basically everything until Schindler's List kind of changed him as a person because after working on that, he was like, I'm kind of changed as a person and what I want to make. And I'm like, fair enough, dude. That's a rough movie to work on.
Yeah. Well, plus like even as you age, the stuff that you find interesting changes with you. Like I see a lot of people say that like, oh, Spielberg kind of sucks now, and it's like, well, he doesn't really make anything that's appealing to me anymore. But like, he's a fucking old guy. He's making movies for kids, for fucking little kids to watch, because that's what's relevant to him
Yeah.
now. Is like he wants this fucking, I don't know, what does he have?
Let
He's
him
probably
make
got
his
grandkids, right? He's old as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's
Let
probably
him
just
make
where his
his War
priorities
Horse
are.
movie.
His worst
Yeah.
movie?
He has it's a very interesting mind. It's obvious that movies like this are why he has such a cachet. like it doesn't matter like what he does into his old age. It doesn't matter that he's like curmudgeonly going like digital movies aren't real movies because you're like, well, you helped us a whole lot to get here, so we're just gonna let you say this until
Yeah,
you are
you
no
just
longer here with us.
can be as cranky as you need to be, old timer, because you
Exactly.
made really good movies, so you earned it.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
we'll let the new people actually dictate where films go from here on out.
Yeah.
I think that's perfectly fine, and he can continue making whatever movies he likes, and he can have varying effects of how good it is. I don't think I've seen a recent one at all. I think his last recent one was what the hell is that? Ready Player One?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
That-
Ready Player One was his last movie.
Which is crazy to think of like Spielberg going like, yeah, in this one we're gonna have Tracer from Overwatch in it, even though it doesn't make sense for the world of Ready Player One for her to be in it.
Also, I don't know who that is because I'm Steven fucking Spielberg. I have no idea who Tracer is.
Why is Vin Diesel here? I'm here to voice the Iron Giant. It's like, all right then, I guess this
Great.
giant man is the Iron Giant.
Great. These are all the video games that my grandson plays. I want every single one of them in this movie.
All right, now let's see if we can find some kind of 80s cover and to just completely make it slow and remix it for this title song. Perfect.
Great.
Get me Gene Wilder. What do you mean Gene Wilder's dead? Why? What? Send his widow some flowers. What
Send
do you
his widow
mean?
some flowers and also a promissory note for us to use a hologram of his likeness.
Exactly, and his amazing voice. What do you mean his widow is gone? Damn it! Why
did
can't
nobody
everyone
tell me
live
this
like
before
me?
right now?
Damn it, George! Why didn't you tell me this? Oh, I'm sorry. I've been
Sorry,
busy.
I didn't know. I was busy making shitty Indiana Jones.
I'm retired. Just Red Hawks now. All
Yeah.
I have is Red Hawks.
I was busy selling everything I owned to Disney and then whining about it later on after the movies were not that good.
Exactly. Now I get to be the fan. This is my ultimate dream.
Everything I suffered through.
Do you
You'll all
think
see.
George Lucas only Do you think George Lucas only sold Star Wars so he could be the fan that made fun of him for years on end?
So
Because
he
he's
could
like, I
bitch
kind of,
about it.
yeah, he's like, I kind of want to do this now. We're one step away from a YouTube video from George Lucas explaining to us how everything's wrong with the current Star Wars movies.
I would watch that.
Only if he did it in the style of a YouTube video. So he's like, hey, everyone, it's me, Georgie Boy,
What's going
here
on,
for another
everybody?
video.
It's me, your boy, Georgie L2245.
If you're gonna today we're gonna talk about Star Wars, but first, of course, make sure to hit that like button if you like the video. Hit subscribe.
Make sure to use the force on that like button, please. Thank you.
If you want to feel a disturbance in the force, make sure to hit the notification bell so that you know what's.
That way you can sense when I go live. Okay, thank you.
All right. And also want to thank today's sponsors, Audible, for providing
Audible.com
us
and Raid Shadow Legends.
I would also watch a video of George Lucas playing Raid Shadow Legends.
Fucking Raid.
Oh, that's all great. George Lucas is the only person in the world who's actually legitimately playing Raid Shadow Legends.
they gave him a sponsorship and he's like, I guess I'll try it out. And then he just fucking plays it now.
We got George Lucas. That's all that matters. All these other players are peons to us.
If you sign up by clicking my link, you'll get 1,000 silver, and you can join my clan. The Stormtroopers.
Damn it! I was about to say join my the Stormtroopers. Oh, this is all great stuff.
Oh,
all right, I think we gotta end it before it turns into us going crazier than ever.
I'm still thinking about George Lucas, and he's just there with like a big headset on, in front of a wall of Star Wars toys,
dressed up as an Ewok.
He's just got Jedi robes on with the hood up.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, thank you everyone for coming. Because he thinks
Has
it's
his
like
own
a
personal
thing they have to attend because he's an old man, so he doesn't understand what videos are.
Yeah. He has a Jar Jar emote in the chat just for everyone to use.
It's tier 3 subscriber emote. So Jar Jar, he really brings everything together. He's a funnier character than we've had before, so.
Yeah, the kids love him.
The kids really love him.
That's...
Yeah, he's gonna be strong with the kids.
So everyone put up your Jabba poggers in the chat.
Can I get a Java chant, please, in the chat?
Can I get a Vader thump? For my...
Oh man, after the chat for Ryan Johnson, really whiffed on The Last Jedi.
Oof. Oof is what I have to say to that one.
Yeah, can I get an oof in the chat for Ryan Johnson, please?
He's on his Twitter just like quote replying to all the Jedi trailers with just like fucking oof. That's it.
He's got like 6,000 fucking hashtags in all the tweets. I
don't know why this is so fucking funny to me with this.
Oh my god. All he does is talk about the Star Wars movies and do speed runs of fucking Rogue Squadron.
Rogue Squadron and Shadows of the Empire. Now we're gonna be like Dash Rendar. We're gonna dash through this stage right here. We're gonna use the Force glitch, as I like to call it, because it forces me to the end of the level.
Oh, that was not a great split. Not a split like Luke's hand coming off. I wrote that. Disney didn't write that. I wrote that part.
He's such a beautiful boy, that Mark Hamill, until he got into that unfortunate accident. Can we get an F in the chat for Mark Hamill's old face? He has Mark Hamill's old face as an emote, like the original face before the accident.
Before the accident. And then the only rule he has in his chat is not to bring up the Star Wars Holiday Special. Like when you go to chat, that's what comes up on his fucking chat rules.
Chewie, can you please ban Vader Fan 25?
my moderators, Chewbacca 6641, Han Solo 6969, and he thinks they're just actually the character. Like, he thinks that's fucking Harrison Ford, and he just doesn't understand.
Yeah, he actually thinks that's Harrison Ford. Thank you so much for coming with for moderating my
For
chat.
moderating my chat, Harrison.
He has Twitter DMs with this fake person for this person pretending to be Harrison Ford.
It's just got a long fucking. He's in a bunch of Star Wars group chats, and everyone thinks it's not the real George Lucas, but it actually is.
Yeah. I'll never forgive you for actually being able to tell him that you finally got what you wanted, huh? Well, saying to fuck man, I'm completely lost in the train of thought, but saying to Han Solo finally getting to die. So he's telling him like, "Oh, you finally got what you wanted, huh?" It's crazy how a friend has to go behind my back to get what he wants.
He fucking posts the DMs in like a big drama thread on Twitter with Harrison Ford.
Gonna step up with Harrison Ford that is like clearly not
Not
Harrison
obviously
Ford.
not the real one. He's like, I didn't want to have to go public, but he just wasn't respecting me. Wasn't responding to my DMs.
Didn't feel right with the Force on this one. He was going too close to the dark side. I'm gonna get off of Twitter for a bit, but I'll come back even stronger than before.
Are you saying that George Lucas puts up a Kaneki at me?
Yeah.
He's got the black header and the Tokyo Ghoul at me.
And he's gone. And he's gone for like a week, and no one's like, what?
He's just fucking ghosts. Then he comes back all edgy and he makes his avatar Darth Vader.
I'm back with the Force. The first thing he posts is the gif of Anakin saying, I hate you to Obi.
He's fucking like, I tried being nice. Now we're gonna have to go to the dark side.
No more Mr. Nice Guy. Oh, like the song.
It's just a gif of fucking evil Anakin, and it's just hashtag no more Mr. Nice Guy.
Hashtag Vader Squad.
It's gonna be a bunch of screenshots of him blocking all the old Star Wars actors with hashtag Order 66.
Hashtag Order 66. Oh, poor George Lucas has lost his mind. No one knows how to respond.
How did this episode turn into this?
Actual Mark Hamill tries to say, George, are you okay? And he goes, shut up, old man. I don't know who you are.
Oh my god. Gonna fucking die.
So thank you everyone for joining us to talk about Jaws and George Lucas's streaming career.
Fucking Twitter account that doesn't exist.
No. Unfortunate that it doesn't. You get that instead of we don't know what would be the next coming up because we don't know when the next time we'll come in with Concession Stand.
Yeah, Concession Stand has not exactly been a consistent thing.
No, because it's very hard for us to get together and then also make sure we both had watched the movie in time, especially during this.
It's easier to do old movies like this for that reason because you can just like Google that shit. But also, old movies are not that exciting for most people to watch YouTube videos about. So like, it is what it is.
You come for the Jaws, you stay for the for what I feel like is a 20-minute long George Lucas rant.
It was about 18 minutes.
Holy shit! I think that's time for us to go. That's almost as long as Jaws.
That is almost as long as the Jaws portion of the episode. Yes, you are not incorrect.
Great. So, before we head off, after we've said all that, remember to always support your local concession stand.
Yeah. Bye.
Goodbye, everyone. May the Force be with you.